Quentin Tarantino has come out and slated a whole bunch of actors. It's just interesting. This is kind of like internal Hollywood gossip, I guess, to a degree. But I do like Quentin Tarantino, and I like his forthright approach to just saying whatever he thinks. I can not necessarily agree, but I can respect a man or woman that just says it how they feel like, to be honest. And Quentin Tarantino is a man that certainly says it how he thinks. You know, he says it how it is to him. So, yeah, this is a bit of a gossipy video, but it's comical. So bear with me. Maybe you'll see, be entertained like I was, and see why I'm making this video. But check it out. Hit subscribe if you're new here. So the headline, I saw this yesterday. He's such an uninteresting guy. Quentin Tarantino slams the Batman star Paul Dano over previous film. You're like, what? Uninteresting guy. He didn't stop here. He went on a bit of a tirade recently, and it's just hilarious. It's super funny. Full transparency, I really like Paul Dano as an actor. I actually think he's an underrated actor. I think he can be quite good. So, the Kill Bill and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood director made an appearance on the Bret Easton Ellis podcast to talk about his top 20 films of the 21st century. Tarantino offered his thoughts on every project on the list, which included Black Hawk Down, Toy Story 3, Lost in Translation, Dunkirk, and There Will Be Blood. The latter, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano, initially received quite a lot of praise from the director, who said, quote, Daniel Day-Lewis, the old-style craftsmanship quality to the film. It had an old Hollywood craftsmanship without trying to be like that. It was the only film he's ever done, and I brought it up to him, that doesn't have a set piece. The fire is the closest to a set piece. This was about dealing with the narrative, dealing with the story, and he did it effing amazingly. And then he just went off. So he stated that though Paul Thomas Anderson's movie had a good chance of being number one on his list, it was dragged down by whom he called a giant flaw, Paul Dano. The director openly bashed the actor, calling him a weak sauce, a weak sister, and stating that Austin Butler would have delivered a better performance than him. So he said this: There Will Be Blood would stand a good chance of being number one or number two if it didn't have a big, giant flaw in it. And the flaw is Paul Dano. Obviously, it's supposed to be a two-hander, but it's also drastically obvious that it's not a two-hander. Dano is weak sauce, man. He's the weak sister. Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. He's just such a weak, uninteresting guy. The weakest fucking actor in SAG. Brutal. Ah. Super brutal, man. Anyway, he didn't stop there. There's more. And he started slating Owen Wilson. Which, you know, Owen Wilson has done some good stuff, but he's pretty paint by numbers. So Tarantino, basically the 2011 drama Midnight in Paris starred Wilson as a hapless screenwriter in Paris who decides to explore the city and inadvertently finds himself meeting important cultural figures. Tarantino placed the project 10th on his list, but made it clear he spent his time watching it hating Wilson. I really can't stand Owen Wilson. I mean, I can't stand him. I spent the first time watching this movie loving it and hating him. The second time I watched the movie, I was like, okay, don't be such a prick. He's not so bad. He's not so bad. Then the third time I watched it, I find myself only watching him. Says, I don't care for Paul Dano. I don't care for Owen Wilson. I don't care for Matthew Lillard. Just go like scorched earth on Hollywood actors. It's quite funny, really. It's quite funny, really. Yeah. And he's done this before. So he said, I liked Owen Wilson more than I ever had before, to do with this Midnight in Paris. Comedy actors, you either really like them or you don't. And he's one of those comedy actors I don't like. I just don't think he's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's not that funny, to be honest. I think he's quite good when he does serious roles. So this is all just, again, a bit of like Hollywood nonsense and drama, but it is comical. And then you had the Batman writer coming out and being like, I'm just going to jump to Paul Dano's defense, as always. Like, why not? So, it's so funny. So Mattson Tomlin jumped to the Riddler's defense and said, I'm really pleased to see so many people cheer on Paul Dano this week. Not only is he a terrific actor, but he's an astonishing director who exudes control and tremendous empathy. Cool. Why not? There you go. And he says, check out Wildlife if you haven't seen it. This is Jake Gyllenhaal. There you go. I mean, what else do you say? It's just a bit of fun. I really rate and respect Quentin Tarantino for being able just to say it how it is. He did that famous thing. I say famous. He's done so much that's famous. There was an interview where he was basically questioned about whether he's feminist enough. And he was like, I reject the premise of your question. Next. Like, yeah, shut up, man. Like, this guy has put woman after woman in strong action roles. Like, and you're trying to say that he's not woke enough or not feminist enough. He doesn't put women in his films enough. Like, are you mental? Are you mental? So, yeah. And full transparency, I like Paul Dano. I think he's a good actor. Could be better, maybe. Owen Wilson, I don't care much for. Like, he's fine. He's alright. And I like Quentin Tarantino a lot. But he is also an actor. He was also a director that, I don't know, maybe he's kind of huffed his own farts a little bit too much. I mean, he's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But then he's also got this weird rule where he's like, I'm making 10 films and that's it. So I'm right, okay. Why? Arbitrary. So I still respect him, though. This is all massively comical to me. Anyway, there you go. Bit of Hollywood nonsense and drama. Quentin Tarantino goes scorched earth. Let me know what you think down below. It's very, very funny to me, though. Bye-bye now.